Hello, everybody! We're back yet again!
Hey.
Yes, we are here with our newest segment, or at least new topic of the day. And I should really turn my notifications off. That's the first you want to know what's BS. Forgetting to turn your notifications off during the stream. That's a first one for me. We're starting off this stream strong, aren't we?
I mean, the topic of the day is, well, do you want to say it?
You know what's bullshit? That's one of them, and also that's...
Forgetting to turn off your notifications before a live stream.
Exactly. But there's also this as well, like, what grinds my gears, which is basically the same thing, but only a cleaner way to say it.
So, what grinds your gears today?
Well,
oh, I know.
Well, first...
One second. I know what grinds my gears. Forgetting to close my bedroom door before I start streaming.
That's also another thing.
I will be right back.
In the meantime, I'll be sharing this link towards everything that I know of at the moment, because that's also something that I forgot to do. Wow! We're forgetting a bunch of stuff today! How did I mess that up this badly? Like, I forgot to do that, at least. That's something I have to do in order to get, like, views and such and everything. And I am still here, we are still talking, and I am also getting my...
Well, you were still talking, I was still muted.
Yeah, that is... Well, you're still here, though, at least.
1 second.
Alright. I have my notes ready.
I'm back. That was my brother interrupting.
Ah. Well, I'm still... I only have one more link, actually, to put in, and that's about the one in the Discord. Of course, that's for everybody.
I'm just hopping on YouTube in case you post any interesting graphics into the live stream.
Well, I do have the Peter Griffin one that's on here right now.
Alrighty.
Also, I see that they changed YouTube a bit. Like, they now say, to watching now, started streaming 2 minutes ago. It never actually used to say, started streaming.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, that's new.
Yeah. But does it grind our gears?
Nah. Like I said, I have a list right over here. I have 3 things on that list.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Alright. This one, the first one I'm going to mention is basically the lowest of the tiers. Like, I have a tier list for this thing. It's like, the first tier is like, okay, I know I do this as well, so I'm kind of a hypocrite. Second tier, it's like, okay, people need to stop. And the third tier is, why haven't you stopped yet? And the first...
Alrighty.
And the first tier that I'm going to say, which I'm going to say I'm completely guilty of as well. Asking last minute for help and such. That's something I will admit that I am a hypocrite for. And Flautus can actually vouch for that.
I do not consider 48 hours notice short notice for anything short of leaving the country.
But either way, I basically asked someone to actually help me last minute to do something, and I'm also basically like, oh hey, want to do something? And I asked them basically at the last minute as well. But here's the thing, it also grinds my gears as well, because like, whenever someone actually asks me for help, it actually is the last minute. It's like, oh Ray, I have a day today, and I'm actually going... Or, I have a good day today. I'm going to have a good time, right? I'm going to do whatever I want. I am messing up on my words.
Was that a Freudian slip? When you said I'm gonna have a gay today.
I have no idea. I meant to say I meant to have a good day today. I'm messing up on my tongue. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm gonna have a good day today. I'm gonna do whatever I want. And then someone just comes out of nowhere and says, "Oh hey, I need your help moving something, like a whole entire shed and closet. We're gonna clean that out today. I hope you don't mind of me you helping. Oh wait, no, you have to help because I literally have no one else." And as usual, I'm obligated to help this person, and I'm just basically like, "Okay." Not like I have anything planned, and then all of a sudden I did have something planned. And yet I still have to do this thing real quick. I'm sorry for horribly uh, explaining this. I'm just really, really mad at both myself and other people that do this. Again, I'm really sorry about this, Flatus.
It's okay. I keep forgetting I have myself muted, but I'm also in the middle of eating dinner, and I mean, unless, like, nobody likes the sounds of people eating in the microphone. But in the spirit of things that grind our gears stream, should I just leave my microphone unmuted?
You know what? Sure. Let's do it.
Alrighty, obnoxious eating sounds. Here we go.
In 3, 2, 1.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's the first in my list. And that's basically because I'm just like, I know that I'm guilty of this as well. That's my problem with it. Why it's on this list, at least. I'm guilty of the same exact thing. And again, I would like to apologize about that, Flatus.
It's okay.
So, do you...
So...
Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was about to ask, do you have your first thing ready to rant about?
Alrighty. Men's flannel versus women's flannel. You know how when you wear a flannel, it's meant to be warm. It's meant to be worn in the winter, and ideally when you put it on, it should feel a little bit like getting a warm hug from somebody you love.
I never really noticed that when I wore my flannel shirt, but you know what? I might try and notice that now.
I love that about men's flannel. Women's flannel, on the other hand, is transparent and cold and doesn't hold up to anything. Like, there is no point in wearing a women's flannel. You can see through that. You should not be able to see through flannel.
Wow, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Like, they're starting to sell women's flannels at Walmart right now. Next time you're at Walmart, go check it out. Like, just feel the difference. It's ridiculous. I hate it so much. Because the problem with wearing a men's flannel is that I am not necessarily shaped like a man. I have extra... Like, I need a little bit of extra space in the chest area. And it would be nice and also flattering to my body shape if it would flare out a little bit at the hips. The women's cuts do that, but not the men's. But also, the women's cuts are flimsy and don't do anything that a flannel's supposed to do.
Dang.
And that's not even getting started on the BS that is fake pockets.
Fake pockets? How do
fake pockets all over women's clothing.
That's another thing that's BS. Fake pockets. Like, you expect something to have a pocket, and you expect it to be a pocket, but no! It's actually just a slip of cloth that's shaped like a pocket, but it's not actually a pocket.
Not to be confused with pockets that have been sewn shut to prevent shoplifting. Those, as long as you have a seam ripper, are fine. But they're on thin ice, because not everybody owns a seam ripper these days. By the way, everybody should own a seam ripper these days.
As someone who does occasionally get holes in their clothes, and I don't know how, I understand that I do need to learn how to sew better to try and mend them, instead of trying to go to, like, someone that I don't know or someone that I do know to constantly to try and fix them.
Yeah. So, do you want to go to the next topic on things that grind your gears?
Alright, then I guess we can. The next thing, and this is one that's basically a huge debate, basically still on the news for some stupid reason, and this is the second thing that grinds my gears. Video games still getting blamed for almost every problem in the world.
Ugh, I know, right?
Yeah, it's like every time something goes wrong, we need a scapegoat. And the easiest scapegoat that there is video games. For some stupid reason.
Oh, do you want to get even angrier?
Yes, I will try and get angrier.
There was a senator on the news. He was either a senator or a House representative. Either way, his last name was McCarthy, because of course. And his claim was that Japan doesn't have mass shootings because they don't have video games.
I remember this. And I was pissed off for a bit, but then I found out that was actually kind of fake. But
oh, really?
I found out through, like, some of my friends that it was
Snopes
fake.
or something?
Yeah, I think it was, like, fake news or something, but it still had, like, the same meaning, though. It's fake, but there was some sort of same meaning and same accusation going around. Because, like, for one thing, why is it always video games? I mean, like, back then, I knew back then...
Hey, I think we're in the wrong call for the whole stream.
Oh, we are? Oh, I'm sorry.
Another thing that grinds our gears. I'll meet you in the next one.
Alright, then. And joining call.
Is it working?
Mm-hmm. We're working.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the fact that politicians keep blaming video games really makes me want to punch something so fucking bad.
Because, like, again, there's always something to blame. They don't want to blame themselves. They don't want to blame the school. They don't want to blame the shooter themselves. They don't want to blame...
Exactly.
They don't want to blame the parents. They just want to blame something else because they don't want to admit that we effed up.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though. Video games aren't the only thing that were basically, like, put in the news and basically blamed for everything. Because before that, you had rock and roll. Before that, you had Dungeons and Dragons. And before that...
I'm pretty sure rock and roll predated Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Okay, I meant to say emo music.
Emo music was between Dungeons and Dragons and now.
This is why I try to avoid watching TV, watching the news, because I'll always hear stupid politicians blaming shit on everything, and not taking responsibility.
Oh, that's something I should have actually added to my list, but I'll get to that later. In the meantime...
So, Aqua, what grinds your gears?
Oh, let's see, people sniffing, coughing, clearing their throats constantly when I'm trying to concentrate on something during class. Just drives me freaking nuts. I have to wear headphones just to concentrate. Especially people with annoying voices too, like nasally or.
Okay.
Sorry about the gross noises, but in the spirit of things that grind our gears stream, I am not muting my mic when I eat.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
That's not. Go ahead.
I was about to say, snorting I can understand. People can control snorting most of the time, because that makes sense. Coughing and sneezing, that they can't control, but I still understand it.
I said sniffing.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That can also be controlled. But coughing, not really. Coughing is basically like an allergy thing, mostly. But
throat clearing really, really sets me off.
But, like, I understand your plight, because, like, again... Whenever I cough, it's completely loud, and whenever I sneeze, it's completely loud. So I usually have this habit of, like, apologizing after doing that, though, because I basically disturb someone's day because of that.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, I totally understand that.
It's one of the reasons why sophomore year was such a living hell for me.
Let's see. Is it my turn to talk about things that grind my gears?
Oh, I'll be right back. You guys go on ahead. I gotta do something.
Alright then. So, I guess it is your turn.
Alrighty, so I'm not sure if this counts, but I just found it out the other day. Evidently, drinking high doses of caffeine increases whatever agitation I feel. So, the other night, I was coming home from work, and I pulled off to get an energy drink, and I saw that my mom had asked me to feed the dog. So I get the energy drink, and I start thinking I gotta get home really fast. I accidentally get on the northbound ramp instead of the southbound ramp, so I have to go all the way up to the next exit to turn around, and honestly, I wanted to fist fight time.
That'd be an interesting fight. I'm not even sure what time we'd even look like.
Like, I didn't even want to fist fight the physical manifestation of time. I wanted to fist fight the abstract concept of time itself.
Though that is kind of a though you will have to admit, though, the physical manifestation time has to be basically a badass looking person, if you gotta admit it.
Probably.
Either that or old.
I'm
going with the first option.
Yeah.
But yes, I understand. I understand that completely, though.
So what I miss?
Oh,
I was talking about the time I chugged an energy drink and then got on the wrong ramp on the interstate, had to go up to another exit to turn around, and honestly, I wanted to fist fight time.
So, Aqua, are you ready to talk about your second thing that's your biggest pet peeve?
Yeah. Mom getting on my case for swearing when my sister, well, she sometimes swears. She said douchebag and brought the daylight in front of mom and dad. And when I said hey, asshole, mom was like, hey, to me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I definitely know that.
Yeah, I'm like 20. I'm 20, but and I still live. But I don't have my own place because I just can't handle it. I can't handle it yet, because Asperger's, anxiety, a bunch of shit going on.
My brother swears up a storm, and yet he barely gets in trouble for it. The only time he does get in trouble is when he uses God's name in vain, and that's about it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, when I say, oh my god, mom keeps saying, gosh. And I was like, come on.
Oh no, he goes with the bigger swears.
Yeah. I never drop the F-bomb in front of her, but I do say shit sometimes. Like when we're watching Walking Dead. Like I have to ask her for permission to swear.
Yeah.
I'm like 20, so I shouldn't have to ask to swear now. It's just a pain.
I mean, growing up, it always felt like my brother never got in trouble for the same things I would get in trouble for, but now that we're older, it's reversed. And I feel really bad about it.
Yeah. And I especially have to be careful about my language around my grandparents, because I don't want to swear in front of my grandparents.
Yeah.
I'm okay with swearing in front of my mom, but my grandma and grandpa, no.
My grandpa was a sailor, so he never swore around me, at least until I was old enough. But I mean, it was still funny when that one time when I was 18, I went with him to practice with his pipe band. Yes, he played the bagpipes too. So
okay, bagpipes, I will say something about that. Bagpipes are badass. Why aren't they used more?
I believe the reason people think bagpipes are annoying is that we only seem to hear them in the wrong context. You're not meant to hear them in a parade. You're most certainly not meant to hear them indoors. You are meant to hear them out in the middle of out in the middle of a field in a misty morning after it's rained the previous night. These things are designed to stir something very primal in you, and they can only do that with the acoustics that come from not being in a confined space.
Speaking of bagpipes, I just sent something in the group chat.
But anyway, so at one point one of his bandmates called the band leader a lying rat bastard. And then the band leader made them apologize to me, and it's just like, I'm 18. That's honestly tame compared to what I hear at school. And it's just, I don't know. I could tell you some stories, I guess.
Alright then. Well, we're back to that ringtone conversation again.
Alrighty.
No, not that we're saying it, but someone's phone accidentally went off.
That was probably mine.
Sorry. Well, anyways, back to the conversation at hand of Flautus. You may go on.
What was I talking about that grinds my gears? Or was I...
You were talking about your grandfather and how you recalled a rat something. Rat...
Oh.
I can't really repeat it.
Anyway. So, anyway, he always had this one story that, when he first joined the Merchant Marines, one of his co-workers pointed to another one of his co-workers and said, "Do you think he's gay?" And at that time, my grandpa insists he had no idea that gay was colloquial for homosexual. He turns to his coworker and says, "No more so than the rest of us."
Oh.
Honestly, that was a good one.
I know, right? That's honestly just.
That's a 10
That's
out
a
of 10
perfect
story. 10 out of 10 war story. Or army story. That's the word I'm looking for.
Army adjacent. Like, he qualified for an army funeral, and my grandma did get a flag folded up, but they're not officially military.
Ah.
If that makes any sense. Merchant Marines are not to be confused with regular Marines, if that makes any sense.
Alright, then. So, anyways, should I go on with my third on the list, or recently added, at least?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Alright. We're going back on that topic that, Aqua brought up. The news. I hate news channels. I mean, sometimes they're useful, like watching for the weather and such, but news channel, I have an ire against them. Because
for me, like, I'm on board with that, but there's an asterisk to mine. I hate the 24-hour news cycle. Because how it used to be was that you had 1, maybe 2 news programs a day. And they came on at a set time, and they lasted for an hour, and it was a basic overview of what happened that day. Now that we have the 24-hour news cycle, they have to keep stories going and going and going, even if they're not really noteworthy at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, everything gets blown up in importance because they have to fill 24 hours, which is a lot of time to fill. Like, especially when it's a boring day and there's nothing really going on. You bet they're gonna turn to You bet they're gonna turn to nothing but opinions about whatever political thing is going on.
It wasn't
in order to fill those 24 hours until something happens.
Well, here's my thing. My thing against the news was basically, it was during the Boston bombing time. It was a harsh day. Like, I was in, like, freaking West Virginia during that time. And the Boston bombing just happened. It was all over the news. But here's the thing. They weren't covering it. They weren't saying, oh, this is the most important thing that we should be focusing on. This is something that we should probably get other people to look at. No. The most important thing that to them, in their opinion, was a basketball player that came out as both black and gay. That was clearly the most important thing, instead of something that actually was important. The Boston bombing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you doing? There are several families that are probably wondering what the hell happened, and then you're all of a sudden caring about this guy who came out as gay. Whoop-de-doo, everyone's gay, as your grandfather pointed out.
We're all gay as sailors. We're all gay sailors.
It's true. Like, everyone, we don't really care about this. This is something that shouldn't be the center of attention. It should be the Boston bombing that happened during that time. Like, I'm sorry if I'm being offensive here. Like, I really am. It's just, that really irked me. And that was the day, well, no, the day that made me quit the news was something even worse. Like, I found this on Facebook and such, and people were actually posting it and saying, oh my gosh, this is real. And when I actually saw it, I'm like, okay, I'm quitting humanity, or at least I'm quitting humanity when it comes to news channels. And the thing that irked me the most was the fact that somebody said, a news channel said, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are the most racist thing in the whole wide world.
What?
Yes. That was
it's all about getting those views so they can get the ad revenue, which is, like, I get it's stupid, but I mean, I feel like journalists don't really want to run those pieces either.
It's like...
Because, I mean...
You go first, sorry.
Because, I mean, like, I feel like if I went to school to study journalism and had to learn all these rules that I have to know to do my job fairly and accurately, why the hell would I want to run a piece about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches unless they were contaminated with arsenic?
Excuse me.
But again, I feel like it's a factor of the 24-hour news cycle. And that they have to keep stories going for 24 hours a day, and they have to keep them sensationalist to get the views that they need to keep their ad revenue. So I feel like it's more of the system than necessarily the news outlets themselves. They're certainly part of the system, and there are points where they do deserve flack.
Cough! Fox News! Cough! Cough!
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, they should really be focusing more on the important stuff than just, like, stuff that is so minuscule or too preposterous to actually care about. Like, as much as I hate to admit it, the video game still being blamed thing does make sense for being in the news. In a way. Because it still kind of correlates towards the event and tragedy that happened. It should be that tragedy that should get them more attention, if anything. But still, they just want to go with the preposterous and minuscule things.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for that rant.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I don't know why I'm saying sorry for a rant. This is where we grind our gears and call it what it is. Bullshit.
We unapologetically call bullshit on all this.
Yes, exactly. Now watch, Fox News basically gives us like a huge copyright strike for not only using this Family Guy image, but also for basically attacking them about their news, or criticizing them on their news channel. Not attacking, criticizing.
Oh yeah, if there's another thing that grinds my gears now. Trump news. I can't stand hearing news about Trump.
Oh yeah, I hate it too.
Especially when I go on Twitter just to see if there's like anything new about my favorite games, that like anything new about Kingdom Hearts that's released, or The Last of Us Part 2. But now I see something crazy that Trump did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, is it? I mean, I guess since this is a political topic, I guess it's okay if I say that I'm voting for whoever's not him next time.
Oh, I will say this. I say this a lot, though. Personally, I don't care who's our president, because in the end, they're just the person that basically just says, oh, here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, only to end up not doing it and having the next president do it later. And then... But in the meantime, he's just there for all of us to point our fingers at and say, you know what, this is all your fault instead. We did it with Clinton, we did it with Bush, we did it with Obama. It's just Trump's turn.
I mean, we do in general need to be more aware and educated about local politics because, the president is really just who represents us on the national stage, but there's so many things that are not national problems that can be fixed if we are more in tune with local politics and everything.
But yeah, that's basically my opinion of what a president basically is nowadays. Our last good president, basically, in my opinion, and this might be controversial to everyone, but our last good president was Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
That was our last good president, in my opinion. He at least cared.
Yeah.
But also, may I say something about Trump as well?
Go ahead.
What?
I really don't mind him. Like, yes, I mind that he does make these racist comments and such, but...
I wouldn't mind him if he weren't president.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Let's put it this way. It's kind of like if you have a spider in your room. I don't mind the spider being outside, doing its spider thing. I mind it being in my room and, climbing on my face.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm very much live and let live. The moment you stop living and letting me live is the moment we have a problem. And I'm sure you're wondering, how is it not a live and let live thing? When you're in a position of power, what you do affects everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So by virtue of being in a position of power, you are incapable of living and letting live. So yeah, I have as much right to be upset with the local mayor as I do the guy who's the president.
Very true.
Like I said, if we can just trap him under a cup and let him go do his thing away from the presidency, I'm fine with him.
Do you want to know what my main problem with, all these anti-Trump people? I don't mind them. They have a right to hate Trump. But the one thing I will say about anti-Trump people, stop comparing him to Hitler. He's not Hitler.
He's not competent enough to be Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Unless those camps actually did turn out to be concentration camps, I will not say he's Hitler.
By the by definition, they kind of are, because what a concentration camp is it's a camp where you concentrate people.
Now having flashbacks to having to read about those in the Holocaust class I took in high school. That was horrible.
We
stories.
should probably give everybody at least one let's change the topic pass if it grinds our gears too much. Does this grind your gears too much?
I'm not sure.
Because we can change the topic.
Yeah, it's okay. I was reading about I was looking through my Marvel Encyclopedia character book from Marvel Studios, and I actually landed on the part with the Nazis on it, with the Nazis from Captain America 1.
Ah. You mean?
We can change the topic if you want.
Alright then, fair enough. So, Flatus, do you have anything else new?
Anything else that grinds my gears? I've got a few things. I'm just trying to pick which one I want to talk about. Okay, so you guys know how I work in a hardware store, in the electrical section.
Mm-hmm.
It grinds the crap out of my gears when some guy looks down his nose at me and says, "You won't be able to help me." And then 2 seconds later, I help him.
Oh my gosh, I know that feeling. Like everyone who says, "Oh, I don't need your help," and then all of a sudden asks for my help immediately after. I know that feeling. Except it isn't at work. It's with lifting stuff.
Oof.
It's like, again, "Oh, hey, I don't need your help. I can get this by myself." "Oh, I can't get this by myself." As they nearly drop the item that is most likely breakable. Although most of the time it's usually a table.
Yeah. But just, it's, I hate it so much. Especially when the guy's super rude and condescending and maybe throws in a sweetheart or a darling in there.
Oh.
When he's
gosh.
like maybe 5 years older than me at most.
Yeah, that guy definitely sounded like he needed a slap.
Well,
I mean, it's balanced out by all the times that we get families in there in the store, and a little kid will see me driving by on the one heavy machine I'm allowed to drive right now, and the little kid points and is like, "She's driving that thing!" And it's like, yes, I am.
Just put on a pair of sunglasses and then basically be like, and basically look awesome while doing it. Just to prove the point that you are, in fact, driving this thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, the little kids in the hardware store are the best. Yeah, they can be a little rowdy, and it's hard to keep them calm, but all you have to do to keep them entertained is show them something cool. And in a hardware store, that's easy.
Power drill.
Just, like, my favorite thing to do is, like, would you like to see this display of light bulbs? Especially since now all our light bulbs are LED and basically harmless.
Wow.
If we still had a display of CFLs, I would be a little more concerned, because just in case you don't know, and I can't really say this grinds my gears because I didn't know before I started working there, compact fluorescent bulbs contain mercury vapor. They must be disposed of according to EPA guidelines.
Wow.
If they break, it is a hazmat situation. I do not recommend using CFL bulbs if you have small children around.
Wow. I didn't even know this.
And, just so we're clear, is it okay if I send you a picture of a CFL bulb?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll see if I can add it to this.
Just so that everyone's clear on what these things look like. Now, this is also true of normal fluorescent bulbs. I'm gonna put it in the three-way chat.
Alright then. Okay, I am saving the image. And I am putting it right over here in the stream for everyone to see.
Those contain mercury.
I did not know that.
Hmm.
These are
If you
the... I mean, aren't these the lights that everyone promotes that, oh, this is green. This is basically the safest light bulb you can get that can save electricity and save
I
the
remember-
environment.
I remember it that way 10 years ago, but now that we have LEDs, I'm just going to say if you're getting a light bulb for the purpose of saving energy and being green, go LED. Because LEDs have come a long way. They no longer have that weird purple hue. We have LED bulbs, you can barely tell the difference from a standard incandescent bulb.
Neat.
Now, if you do have some CFLs you need to get rid of, there are several hardware stores that do CFL disposal. I believe Home Depot is one. So if you have a Home Depot around and you have some compact fluorescents you need to get rid of, you can just ask them to take them for you. It's free to do that.
Neat.
But I'm sure several other hardware stores also do that. But like I said, I can't really say it grinds my gears when people don't know that those contain mercury, because it's kind of hard to notice if you're not reading all of the box. But it does grind my gears when I tell someone that, and then their answer is, "Oh, I don't care. I throw them away anyway."
Aren't you supposed to throw them away?
No, they have to be disposed of according to EPA guidelines. That's why I told you to take them to your local Home Depot or whatever place does CFL disposal. Because if they break, it's a hazmat situation. And do you really want to put your garbage men through that?
No, not at all.
I'm sure they're used to it, but still. You know? Now there's another type of light bulb that does, but that's the fluorescent lights, which are the long tubey ones. They make LED versions of those now. But I don't usually warn people away from fluorescents for several reasons. One, fluorescent fixtures are really finicky, so you're kind of stuck on what bulb you have to use. And two, generally speaking, you're not going to have fluorescents in too many areas where there are small children around in a position where they can break the lights. Like, you'll have fluorescents in schools and stuff, but unless the kids are climbing to the ceiling, taking the diffuser off and yanking the bulbs out of the fixture, it's not going to be a problem.
Very true.
So, it does grind my gears whenever people are just like, I don't care, I'll just throw my CFLs away the way I always do. And I'm just like, the point of being warned about it is that you can change what you're doing to respond appropriately.
Very true.
But, so that's what kind of grinds my gears.
So, should we go on to the next person, or are you not done?
Oh, I'm done. With this one.
Hey, Aqua, do you have any?
I have one came to mind. The whole Disney and Sony dispute over Spider-Man being pulled from the MCU. That really pisses me off. thing. I mean, all that build up, and then Sony just decides to pull him out of the MCU like that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the deal is still going on. If
Thank
Apple,
God.
if Apple does end up buying Sony, or something like that, I remember seeing it on 4chan. I will say this though, 4chan is a part of my last, what's it called? But I'll get to that later. My last Grind My Gears list. Blah, I'm messing up on my English.
It's okay.
I've been doing that.
English number 1.
We are number 1.
But before we actually do that, before we actually go to mine, Aqua, you were done, right?
I went ahead and said
She was talking about the Sony,
Spider-Man deal, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I'm gonna say in defense of just letting Sony have Spider-Man is that Sony made Into the Spider-Verse.
True. Very true.
Sony produced the Sam Raimi movies, which were what made superhero movies catch on in the first place.
Mm-hmm. But
debatable.
I mean, they've proven they can handle the character of Spider-Man very well.
That one's true.
But then there's Spider-Man 3 and the Amazing Spider-Man series.
Yeah, but still. I mean, and it's not like Disney can't let the actor who plays Spider-Man show up as a cameo. He doesn't have to be Spider-Man. Like, they can literally credit him as not Peter Parker. I think.
They could use they could use his clone. I know his name, I just can't think of it right now.
Ben Reilly.
Ben Reilly, yes, thank you.
Yep, so that's someone who reads the comics.
Yay.
Ow, I just heard my fingers snapping.
So, like I said, I got a few shout-outs. Do you want me to go through that, or are we not done?
Yeah, go through the shout-outs.
Alright, then. We got Fuji B13. She says it took a while to put to words what grinds her gears, but she thinks he's got it now. For one, entitled people, those who think they are better than you, and are always trying to put you on situations where you don't know what you're saying/doing. Those who think that they should have everything better and at a cheaper price. I have, thankfully only sometimes, customers like that, complaining how it isn't perfect, complaining that it costs too much, yada yada yada. I am always losing my temper quickly to those types of people, but hey, gotta keep that customer services smiles while they trash you, am I right? And she also says this. On the other hand, I hate those people who claim they are smarter than you because they hold a diploma higher than you. Or saying just because someone else has a better diploma than you, well, they are better. I never liked the fact that people think I have a diploma is better. I have nothing to prove on a paper that I am a bilingual. That I am saying that right?
I think it's bilingual.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I own it, I am. I know a coworker with no diploma in graphic design. He was one of the best I knew, beating even those with diplomas. I have an aunt with a diploma in teaching French, but she never used it, never worked. But oh God, she was much better. Because she went to a great university and has a diploma and was so much better than us in French. Just, heck off. Just talking about that makes me angry. Guess I could say my aunt grinds my gears. I think I'll stop there, or I'll end the day angry, while I'm supposed to be happy. Finally got good news today. Hope this will make a good discussion. Well, people that do hold a higher diploma than you, that one, I guess, kind of grinds my gears, but then again, I'm literally the only one in my family that has at least what resembles a diploma. But I don't use it basically to say that I'm smarter than anybody. Then again,
yeah, like I always tell people I flunked out of the programs that I was in but didn't finish because financial reasons.
Hmm.
I mean, I did get. I was pretty much a straight A student, but I feel like it comes across better if I just say, "Oh, I flunked out of film school because I don't have taste."
Oh.
Ooh, that brings to mind something that grinds my gears.
Hmm.
The
Dude.
fact the fact that I don't like it is not really an acceptable answer anymore. You know, just
Oh,
like
yeah, I definitely know that one.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it's good to have critical reasons why you don't like it, and it can certainly help to be able to recognize problematic elements of something, but I don't like it is fine. Not everything is to everyone's tastes.
Exactly.
Um, and I'm just like, why can't? And it's just like, why can't I just say, uh, why can't I just say I didn't like it in response to a movie? Like, I didn't like Greta. I do have critical reasons why I didn't like Greta. I thought it would have been a lot more interesting from the main character's roommate's perspective. And I thought that the ending was a little cliche, and very American. I actually feel like it tacked on an extra 15 minutes just for the American release.
Hmm.
Because we Americans have to have our happy endings, and oh, boo hoo, the main character can't get murdered by a serial killer.
Hmm. American censorship. Not as bad as any other censorship, but still bad.
The American censorship is still pretty bad once you learn how to recognize it.
Hmm.
Um, but, like, in the end, if you did like the movie Greta, I don't care. You liked it. It's okay. You're allowed to like a bad movie. That's another thing, not being able to admit when or not being allowed to admit when you like things that are objectively bad. Just the dichotomy of if I like it, it must be revolutionary and good, and if I don't like it, it must be the worst thing ever.
That is basically every argument on the internet. Specifically
Yeah.
4chan.
It's just like, can't we just say I like this or I don't like this?
Ouch, my arm.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I think I just pulled a muscle while stretching.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's because I've been sleeping on one side too much. Or maybe I've just been popping my shoulder too much.
Alright, so, here's our next shout out. Are you okay?
Oh, that was just my computer desk.
Ah.
I was just turning it to face me. Sorry. I can't figure out how to get it stopped.
Well, anyways, on to our next shout out. From Bunny Simmons. This is what she said what grinds her gears and what made her angry. What Nintendo has done to Paper Mario. Which,
What did Nintendo did to Paper Mario?
how do I explain this? Okay. Imagine the first Paper Mario becoming good.
Alright.
Okay. Now imagine it going to amazing.
Mm-hmm.
As its turn-based RPG. And then imagine the third game. You expect the same thing, an RPG, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a platformer instead.
Oh.
With little to no RPG elements. Still had a great story though.
Gotcha.
The fourth Paper Mario game. The main villain doesn't speak anymore for some reason. And also, your attacks are limited. You have to buy some random stuff in order to actually do attacks from now on.
Hmm.
Fifth game. They solve little to no of the problems. None of the problems. And they're basically just like, oh hey, we fixed Bowser. He can talk now. He's funny again. But you still have to buy attacks in order to attack your opponent. So, yeah, that's the best way I can actually describe it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's what happened to Paper Mario.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I have to get up for a bit. So, Aqua, do you have anything else to add in the Grind Your Gears section?
Let's see, what was it? Oh yeah, people expecting so much from you. Like, as soon as you graduate, they expect you to go to high school or go to college or get a job. Especially or get married or yada yada. I just find it super annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming from someone who doesn't have a job yet, but I'm just lazy, but still, I don't really see the point in working. I know you need money, but I don't see the point of going to college if you're not going to use some of the stuff, if you're just going to get, like, a different job. So I'm just probably just complaining and just being lazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, this kind of is just like me venting right now because I'm stuck doing an assignment. I'm trying to study for an assignment while also studying a driver's manual for a learner's permit thing I gotta do.
Gotcha.
And I'm just thinking, why me?
Oh, here, that actually brings to mind something. I find it so weird that almost every day I get into a machine that weighs about half a ton and is powered by explosions. I pilot it to work faster than the fastest land animal on Earth can travel. And somehow, that's the most boring part of my day.
Well, in all honesty, driving does get boring once in a while. Unless you're very excited to go somewhere. Then it gets good.
Yeah. But, like, even then, just being on the... But, like, when you're on the interstate and you're just driving in a straight line... I don't know. I get torn between traffic makes it traffic makes it easier to focus on driving, and traffic is the worst. It depends on how people are driving. If people are driving sensibly, it's alright. If people are not driving sensibly, it's the worst.
That is kind of true, yes. So, you ready for the last thing on my list?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Alright, last thing on my list. The thing that irks me the most. Social media. Specifically, Reddit, 4chan, and Tumblr.
Oof.
Okay, let's start with Reddit first. For one thing, Reddit? I am 90% sure that Reddit is filled with nothing but liars. Like, legit liars. And the worst thing about it is, Reddit you can't really escape from, because, like, for some reason, everybody brings up Reddit. Even YouTube. Half of my YouTube, for some reason, half of my YouTube recommendations and suggestions go towards, hey, here's some Reddit true stories. Like, here's something from Reddit, like, what's the naughtiest thing your school has ever done? Or, or single parents. What's it like raising a single child? And all that other stuff. It's like, and some of the and I decided, like, oh, hey, let's check out some of this. Maybe some of this will be true. And when I look at it, I'm just like, man, none of this is true. like, Reddit is by far the worst out of all three of them. In my opinion, at least. Because, like, Reddit basically doesn't want... who's typing at the moment?
No, that's me. I was working on my story.
Ah,
Sorry.
fair enough. But, like, Reddit has to be the worst out of all of them, if anything. Because, like, Reddit, I believe, is just full of liars. Because all the stories that they just post in for all their true story stuff just feels a lot fake more than anything.
Yeah.
Give 4chan credit, though. 4chan, whenever they tell a story, you know 100% of the time it's most likely fake, and they're doing it for like shits and giggles.
Yeah.
But once in a while, you do see that one anonymous user that is telling the truth. For some reason, they are, at least.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure actually if 4chan's actually worse than Reddit, because again, 4chan is 4chan. Because, like, I'm sorry if this is making you guys uncomfortable, by the way.
Oh no, like, I don't like 4chan, but, you know, I subscribe by the live and let live policy, where I decide I don't like 4chan, so I don't go there.
So,
The reason why I go there, though, is because I find some of the threads to be comfy, like... Again, I know most of the 4chan's basically filled with a bunch of jerks, or what I can literally describe as real idiots. But, like, 4chan at least does have some comfy stuff. Like, if I could recommend some stuff to go on with 4chan, I'd go with Ko and TG, which is basically cartoons and comics, and the other one's tabletop gaming. Because, like, tabletop gaming, they're just like, oh, hey, we're going to talk about RPG, we're going to talk about D&D and such. And it's just like, okay, this is kind of fun. And again, cartoons and comics usually does have some good stuff occasionally.
Yeah.
But, again, most of it... And, again, most of 4chan is mostly filled with jerks and idiots, mostly. But here's the thing. They acknowledge it. Reddit, I'm not sure if they acknowledge it or not. I think they're just like, meh. Tumblr, though.
Yeah.
Tumblr, I believe, acknowledges it, but chooses to ignore it just to prove themselves to be better. Because,
I mean, like...
You go first.
I was gonna say, my thing about Tumblr, because I actually enjoy my experience on Tumblr now I'm gonna put a caveat on here. I don't just follow everyone. I curate what I want. If I don't like what someone's posting, I unfollow them. I've heard apparently some people think that's being a cold bitch. I do not care. So I heavily curate my experience on Tumblr. But the thing I love about Tumblr is how entirely useless it is from a monetary standpoint. Like, this thing, Tumblr, when it comes to Tumblr, with what Verizon lost on it, I personally cost Verizon $5. Like, Tumblr is that monetarily worthless. And I love that. But, I mean, that said, I totally realize why people don't like Tumblr. They are not wrong to dislike Tumblr.
Again, I think Tumblr just acknowledges that they are filled with jerks and idiots, but they choose to ignore it. Mostly because they want to try and prove themselves to be more better and such. Like, they want to be like, oh, hey, we curate to the SJW community and such. We do better than 4chan, when 4chan has /LGBT and such. Like that. But here's the thing, though. 4chan, when they do something horrible, they at least apologize for it. From what I learned, they do apologize.
Yeah.
Tumblr, I have not and never seen a single apology from Tumblr whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I think you all know this, but remember the girl that was driven to suicide by Tumblr because they didn't draw rose quartz fat?
What the hell?
Yeah, they bullied this girl so much and told her to commit suicide to the point where she actually attempted it and was hospitalized.
Mm-hmm.
What the
And the worst
fuck?
and the worst thing is, they didn't apologize.
What?
Yeah.
It was the girl that apologized instead, saying sorry to Tumblr. And it's like, how effed up are you guys?
Yeah, that, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I heavily, I cannot stress this enough, curate your experience to the letter. Like, anything you don't like, just say bye. And I know that some of it you can't like, and I know that the rest of Tumblr is super bad about it.
Because, like,
But
again, I never seen a single apology from Tumblr whatsoever. It's either I'm right, you're wrong, and you have to kiss my feet because I'm right.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
At least with 4chan, again, there's the fact that you're anonymous throughout this whole entire thing, and they at least still apologize. Reddit, again, I think they're full of liars, but at least but at least I feel like they're coming from a good place. Tumblr, I just don't feel anything from them. I just feel mostly hatred from now on from them.
yeah.
They said that 4chan was full of hate. I beg to differ. It's Tumblr.
Like I said, you really have to curate your experience with Tumblr, and too many people don't. And like I did say, like, you're allowed to hate Tumblr. I totally get it. Tumblr deserves it. But like I said, I also like to stay on it because I personally cost Verizon $5. Just by being a Tumblr user. Like, it's the one website, like, it asks for so little data that it can't even curate its ads to me. The only ad that it perfectly curated to me was for that Organization 13 hoodie.
Wow.
And even then, that ad just floats around on the internet everywhere. So, like, it's not even that it was curated to me. It just happened to be the one time they struck gold. And I have to say, I appreciate that, because with Facebook, I can think about getting something, and I'll get, like, 50 ads for it.
I would mention Twitter and Facebook and social media, but then again, I only get on Facebook for one reason, and that's my group. And I don't have a Twitter whatsoever. And I choose not to get a Twitter. I choose not to experience the stuff that happens on Twitter.
I have a Twitter, but I don't use it. I should probably just deactivate it. Because, like I said, I don't use it. I don't see the point in it. And at this point, Twitter's just hot garbage. You know, I mean, I will admit, Tumblr may be so monetarily worthless it costs Verizon so much that each individual user costs them $5. But as bad as Tumblr and 4chan are, Twitter is like where you take the worst of Tumblr and pit them against the worst of 4chan. Why would I want that? Why would I want to be on that site?
And then you have MySpace.
MySpace is the only unproblematic social media site.
MySpace is just like, oh hey, I'm here. Bye now. I used to be a thing. I used to be loved. Everyone used to customize my wallpapers and such.
Yeah. Just like we we stand MySpace. MySpace is the one social media site that doesn't grind our gears.
Never used it though.
Maybe we should all get a MySpace.
I don't think MySpace even works anymore.
I'm gonna look it up.
This is gonna be...
Man, I'm trying to get myself to work on my story, my chapter, but
it still works.
What?
I can sign up for a MySpace right now.
Oh my god!
Oh boy.
They have, under their tabs, now they have modernized the site quite a bit. There was one pop-up ad, but it didn't play music.
Ah.
Now, it does have... Ooh, it has a music, videos, and people tab. It's got news, artist of the day, Q&A, everybody loves a list, top 8, portraits, 10 things, and more.
Wow. Maybe I will make a MySpace just for the heck of it. But that'll be for later.
Yeah.
Alright, we're about 70 minutes in.
I wonder if there's a MySpace app. Because if I can connect my MySpace... Like, I'm sorry, I'm just... What's on MySpace music? Okay, they do have a fairly annoying frequency of pop-up ads. But you know what? Considering they don't make noise... let's see. They've got some Taylor Swift, some Stevie Wonder, more Taylor Swift. Dire Straits, Ed Sheeran, Bruno Mars, ABBA. Rascal Flatts. Nice. They don't have a bad music selection.
Wow, nice.
Now I'm gonna look for the app. Just because I can.
Alright. So, we're about like 72 minutes in. Oh.
Really gotta fix that. Sorry.
I think we all said our piece about what grinds our gears, or did we not?
I did.
I mean... Okay, MySpace does not have an app.
Ah. I guess that's one thing we can add to our grinds our gears list. MySpace doesn't have an app. It's appless.
Get on it, MySpace.
I mean, you have to still, like, have enough people monitoring it to do that, at least.
Yeah.
But, like, we're about 73 minutes in. Let's see.
Yeah, it has been a little while.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Does anything else grind your gears?
Nothing coming to mind right now.
Alright then. So, I think next time, for our next session of our Bonehead with a microphone, which I should probably go back to the default Skeletor image now. But the next time, I think we should probably do something completely different. I think we should have that art showcase and talk about the art that everyone submits in, at least.
Alrighty.
But, again, that's only with their, what's it called? Permission. That's the word. Consent. But we should probably do, like, an art showcase. Like,
That
every
would be
artist
cool.
shows about, like, 3 of what they believe to be their best art. Which, I might as well, I won't preview yet, but, you know what, I will show off 3 of what I believe is my best art. And I hope all of you enjoy it, at least. Or at least bash on it, praise it, whichever you choose. But, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Any last words before we actually end it?
Yeah.
Alright, let's give out our last words then. Let's start with you, Aqua.
Stay cool, I guess.
That's a nice thing to say. What about you, Flatus? What's your last words of the stream?
Remember, the solution to grinding gears is always to freshly lube them.
Wait a minute, there was one extra, what's it called, that I did forget. I did forget to do one more shout out. From Sharp Amethyst! She says, lack of oil.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, be sure to oil those gears up occasionally.
Yeah. Always remember, if you feel your gears grinding too much, stop and take a minute to make them not grind.
Well, we hope you all...
Because if you let your gears grind, your engine will burn.
That is true, yes. That is completely true. Well, we'll end this episode now. Like I said, I hope this art showcase goes completely well. And, again, I'll be submitting... Well, I hope everyone will be submitting at least 3 pieces for us to talk about. So, I guess this is goodbye. See you all next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye!
Bye.
Bye.